I think I would like to start when I came to Hanover. Came to Hanover January of 1934 on that low salary. And if you spent $8 or $9 a week on groceries, that was excessive.
So it was a little tough if you had a family to be able to get what you needed at a reasonable price.
Jobs were scarce, money was scarce. We handed down clothes to other people, and we inherited other people's clothes and remade them and refashioned them to fit and so forth. So we got used to cooperating, really, in many ways, so that we could make ends meet.
It was the holiday season, 1935. America's Great Depression had reached all the way into Hanover, New Hampshire. In this isolated college town, a group of a dozen neighbors gathered at the grade school to talk about the possibilities of establishing a consumer cooperative to bring better, fresher foods to Hanover at fair prices. They all shared a common need and realized that they could accomplish more by working together than any one of them could alone. In January of 1936, the group formally organized itself into the Hanover Consumers Club, with 17 charter members and no significant assets except their faith in the venture on which they were all about to embark.
It is important to not to forget that cooperatives come out of needs, of people's needs. It's not so much individual, but groups' needs. That's what, if there is a real need, the cooperative in a group, the cooperative is a wonderful instrument to change the need.
Well, of course, we started with fruit, oranges and grapefruits, which very fortunately were stored in Roger Bristol's cellar. And I think we had fresh dairy butter and other milk products.
I recall going to Roger Bristol's garage. Now, this may not be accurate, but that was wherever it was, the first place. And grapefruit, oranges, and prunes. I can't think why in the world prunes. But anyway, out of the prunes that we always had on hand, you made jellied prunes with a package of lemon jello. That was common. Or prune whip, to use up your... You were trying to support that loyalty.
I imagine there's a considerable skepticism on the part of the outsiders as to whether we could make a go of it, whether it would catch on. After all, Hanover was a pretty conservative place. So, but we weren't disheartened by that.
Conservative? Yes. But that first hardy band of cooperators discovered that, along with raising a few eyebrows as a suspect organization, they were actually having a lot of fun.
At that time, the co-op was thought of as a communist organization. There's a great deal of resistance toward that. But when I got to know the people, I thought, gee, these are the most wonderful people I've met. These are not bad people. They're not bad communists. We always just think of communists as the red flag.
A truck would come back up, and we'd unload, and 2 or 3 of us would be in there and grab the boxes and pull them out and put them up on the shelf, and then come the question of pricing them, and that was the real problem. And Roger Bristol would figure out what was the price, but it was the damnedest thing because we didn't have any. You just took a crayon each one and put it on the shelf.
The Consumer Club grew fast in that first year, moving from a garage on Valley Road to a large basement on East Wheelock Street. In November, the club incorporated as the Hanover Consumer Cooperative Society. In January of 1937, members opened their first store in the basement under Gitz's restaurant at Main and Lebanon Streets. Then onto 33 South Main Street, the basement under the present Dartmouth bookstore. By 1942, the co-op is ready to move upstairs and provide Hanover's first self-service food store. But this expansion required more money than the co-op members had during these war years.
There was an option, and the option, of course, was to borrow from the bank. But the trouble is that the bank, I think his name was Pearlie Bugby, the president of the bank, declared publicly that we had a communist cell was coming into this respected community, and by God, he was not going to have anything to do with them, and so on and so on. So we were stuck.
A loan from a faithful member was secured. The store moved upstairs, and with a gala party and grand opening, the future looked bright. But by the end of the 1940s, the co-op was in deep financial difficulties.
It was during that period that we'd gone downhill so much that the value of a share was less than $5. And by law, you can't buy or sell shares. And it made it tough.
Through the 1950s, a wise and resourceful management team and adherence to cooperative principles of education and communication saw the co-op through to better days. By 1962, the Main Street Co-op store boasted a membership of 2,000, annual sales of $1 million, and not a single parking space. At that point, the board of directors took a deep breath and authorized the purchase of the land that the Hanover store sits on today. This was a controversial move. There was much discussion and serious opposition to moving the store so far from downtown, but the membership engaged willingly in this debate and moved forward democratically. This leap of faith and its ensuing success typifies the strength of our co-op perfectly. It succeeds because members remain involved, not always in perfect harmony, but always, and in many different ways. Serving on boards and committees, speaking up at meetings, shopping here regularly, sharing ideas via the suggestion box. All levels of participation are important. The Hanover Consumer Cooperative Society will stay vital as long as members continue, in the spirit of the founders, to communicate, participate, and cooperate with respect for change and new ideas.
Everybody's cooperated to make it the best store in town.
It's this wonderful idea that many people together can do something that one person alone cannot do.